City of Avon Lake Council to order. I would ask that everyone stand for one moment. I would like to have a moment of silence for the military and all the other losses of life, but in particular the military that we've lost in the last few days. Thank you. And Mr. Shamir has asked for a moment before the start of the collective committee meeting. Mr. Shamir.
Thank you. I wrote this before we coming in, so I will continue. I would like to ask that we pause to honor the American service members who gave their lives in defense of our country. As an American of Iranian descent who has been firsthand the consequences of authoritarian rule, I do not take freedom lightly. The liberties we enjoy here, defended by men and women who are willing to give everything for them. So, I can't say enough, and it's just a sad day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shamir. All right. Thank you. We will continue now with the public input portion of our meeting. Anyone in the audience wishing to come forward, please come forward, state your name, city of residence, and you have 5 minutes to discuss with us any topic that you would like. Mr. Zimmerman, welcome.
1 second, I forgot. Thank you. Appreciate it, thank you.
You're welcome.
William Zimmerman, beautiful Avon Lake. So, got a lot of things to try to fit into my short 5 minutes. And part of it is this Second Amendment that to the contract that we've signed with ALERG, with Todd Davis and everybody else. And so I find it interesting that the wordage in there is always anticipated costs, they might go over, we can always adjust. Todd Davis is making $700 an hour. Jordan Burns and Mr. Malouf, so I can't say his first name well, are making $475 an hour. And I just find that to be outrageous. Deegan Verdantis, who's the environmental people, they're making plenty. So it's nearly $550,000. And I understand that it's supposed to come back out of the TIF, it's reimbursed, and all these other things. So that the citizens of Avon Lake know. A couple years ago, we started asking for the billable hours. And Mr. Davis gave us his, no problem. We were able to then sue the city. We're still in the Ohio Supreme Court waiting for judgment. But now I ask for the same information, the same documents. I get nothing. Hard to decipher what's really here, right? I got nothing. So my question is, why the change and what are you hiding? I don't understand that. Should have the right to know. Who, when, where, all those things. Public knowledge. So I want to talk about the TIF, which is part of this whole thing. And I believe they're trying to make the superintendent a scapegoat if it doesn't go through properly, because they want 100%. Everything has to be there, all of it. And she doesn't even have a vote. She's not one of the 5 board members. And I don't understand why there's what I would consider to be undue pressure unrealistic expectations. So the other thing what I wanted to tell the citizens about tonight is this Second Amendment. And if you go to the page of tonight's agenda and you scroll down towards the bottom, pages 58 through 65, you'll be able to see the documents that I'm referring to that enlighten you about what's going on in regards to this amendment. Give you information about charts, give you information about timing, what way things are being done. I think we need to educate ourselves about this. It's the second reading, an amendment to a device that's already been supposedly signed and is in effect. And as I've said many times up here, Todd Davis is a crook. He's not trying to help us. He's not looking out for our best interest. He's trying to make a boatload of money off of the city of Avon Lake, him and his colleagues. They got city of Avon Lake on the run, right to the bank. So, as I've also stated in the past, CCI has got a lawsuit going against the county in regards to the radio systems that we're using. And there's the Marks and the Harris. Jeremy Betza, former chief, he was a proponent for the Harris because it was better. Couldn't get reception on the Marks in the parking lot at Avon Lake Library. And so the Republican Party has put additional pressure, I believe, on Mayor Spetzel to help move this along and remove him. That's why it was so shady at the beginning when we asked to see what was the cause for his removal. Couldn't get it. Wouldn't give it to you. Nobody knew. It's going to be a bad day in Avon Lake when this finally shakes out. Citizens will have an opportunity to know what's really going on.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman. Anyone else wishing to come up and address council? All right, seeing no one coming forward, we're on to the standing committees of council that are set forth within the agenda. We start with Ms. Gentry, the Building and Utilities Committee meeting. If you'd like to come over here, you're welcome to, or you can.
That's okay.
All right, thank you.
So we'll call the meeting to order with myself as chair, Mr. Reynolds, and Mr. Shamir all present. So we have quorum. And the first order of business is the January 26, 2026 meeting minutes. Any concerns with the minutes? Seeing none, we'll approve as written. The next order of business is the Coalyard. Mr. Liskovic is not here. So the Coalyard Stormwater Connections, Sal, is something that he was working on for us, and I was hoping he was going to give us an update on where we are and when that was going to be complete. Mr. Mayor, do you have?
Mr. Liskovic had to be out this evening for family reasons, but I will tell you that he is going to be working with Partners Environmental. Partners Environmental will be the consultant for the lessons learned analysis, and that's what I have for you at this point.
Okay. Do we know when that SAL is going to go out?
I don't have that information with me, sorry.
Mr. Shamir?
So Partners Environmental has been selected to develop the statement of work, or they have been selected to do the lessons learned?
My understanding from Mr. Liskovic, they're gonna be the consultant for the lessons learned analysis.
Okay, so were they given a statement of work? Because that statement of work is effectively, would make up their, the scope that they will be managing and manage to.
Yeah, and I'm presuming since it'll be a contract that we'll have that scope of work. I don't have that at the moment.
Okay, so are we gonna, because one of the things that we discussed
wanted
in the last, we wanted to
to
take a look
approve
at the
that.
scope of work before it actually was finalized. Since we had issues the last time it went around, and we wanted to make sure that we wouldn't have to go through the process once again.
I'll make a note of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on to new business. The first topic would be the Enterprise Managed Technology Services Agreement. And with that topic, I'll ask Mr. Rua to talk about that.
Thank you. This is a request for the approval of a master services agreement with our current vendor for a period of 2 years, commencing April 1st of this year through March 31st of 2028. This is a master services agreement that encompasses the Enterprise Managed Technology Solutions, or IT support services for all city departments, including police and fire. This is the first time we've had an MSA with this vendor. Previously, police had their own separate agreement. I want to note that the municipal court maintains its own agreement apart from this MSA. The pricing and the service levels are steady, staying the same, no price increases, including the rate for expedited service hours, all the same as our previous agreement that the city entered into, the one that we're under currently for the city fire and police. However, this is, as I said before, the first time that we've had an agreement that encompasses all departments. Within the terms of the agreement, there are some assumptions about what the city provides. We meet all of those assumptions. The total amount of services for this agreement is $135,000 per year for 2 years, totaling $271,200 for the full 2-year term. This particular MSA does include a security addendum. You'll notice that in it, and that is required for leads or law enforcement compliance with the criminal justice information system, CJIS requirements, I should say. This has to do with security of criminal records. There are certain leads requirements for the handling of criminal records when you, in the event that the PD would work with a third party with those records. There are certain requirements they have to follow. So that addendum is added to this agreement as a way of essentially saying that we are compliant with those standards, which we are. The other thing I wanted to point out about this is the couple of things about this agreement. One other thing that we benefit from. So this is about IT support services. These are IT professionals that are on premises 2 days a week, plus remote support for us during the course of the week. They do everything from troubleshooting computers to more advanced projects for us during those hours that we have them. But it is also, having this agreement has been integral in putting us a step ahead when it comes to cybersecurity. We are very fortunate that we were able to pass a cybersecurity program last year, and we were ahead of the game as far as those requirements are concerned, and a lot of that has to do, most of that has to do with this vendor that we have had such a good relationship with over several years. Having this agreement has also been instrumental for us in implementing new technology solutions throughout the city. The voice over IP system, for example, there's too many to really mention them all, but it's really helped us advance technologically here at the city. And then it also gives us the ability to leverage their vendor partner relationships so that we can get software and hardware solutions below state contract pricing. Now the city is required to pay for those, which is something we want to do because they're ours. There are software licenses, there are pieces of equipment, but through this agreement we can leverage their buying relationships with their business partners to get better pricing. And I think that covers everything I wanted to add. Happy to try to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. I do have a question for you. This master services agreement, and you were very clear in describing it. The only thing that I'm wondering, can this vendor also supply what you need at your studio?
As far as equipment,
Broadcast.
they don't have business relationships with the kinds of equipment providers. That their business relationships are, I don't want to be too specific, but they're more,
Data run.
yeah,
Thank you. That's all I need. I just wanted to know if this was also going to include
it would be
the
great
studio.
if they did, but
Thank you, sir.
unfortunately they don't.
Any other questions? Mr. Smith?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the agreement's been reviewed by the law director and he doesn't have any issues with it.
We have reviewed it, made some comments, and, addressed them.
Thank you.
And I am assuming since April 1st is the date that your intention is to move this to council meeting next week
Yes.
for emergency passage, first reading, suspension of rules.
Yes, and I would have liked to have brought it to you much sooner. It was a holdup on the vendor's end related to the inclusion of the leads addendum that you find in the agreement, and that went vetted through another one of their city partners, legal department, and it held things up for us.
Okay. So do I need to move that to the CCM? I make a motion to move this to the CCM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So passed by 3. Okay. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes again. All right, so the next topic was the .gov domain migration grant application. So this grant is due on March 13th, and so do you want to go ahead and talk about this one as well?
Of course, yeah. So the State of Ohio's Cyber Ohio team, with support from Ohio Emergency Management Agency, has been awarded funded through the Department of Homeland Security and a program called the State and Local Cybersecurity Grant Program. They love acronyms, so it's the SLCGP is how they like to refer to it. They are using this funding to provide cybersecurity grant opportunities for Ohio local governments, LGEs, local government entities. This grant is available to us because, believe it or not, Avon Lake is considered rural, which is defined under the terms of the grant as a city with or an LGE with a population of less than 50,000 individuals. Excuse me. The maximum grant award available here is $9,500. There is a 20% match requirement, which is why we're bringing it to council. These funds, if they're awarded, can be used to cover a variety of different costs associated with the transition to a .gov domain. Just to be clear, though, the .gov domain itself costs nothing. We've already applied for the .gov domain and acquired it. The kinds of costs that we're talking about here would be a third-party vendor services. It can even be as simple as the cost that it is to update all of our business cards with the correct website. So it would be wonderful to be able to get one of these grants to defray some of those costs. We did get a quote from our vendor about what kind of labor they would put into a transition, most of which involves configuring our email and the security tools that we use in the city. And then just based on past orders that we've made for print collateral from local vendors, we can estimate the amount that we would spend on just replacing business cards. Just those two things alone would meet would encompass the entire $9,500 that would be available to us if we get the full amount. We already meet all the requirements to apply for this grant. One of those requirements is that we participate in the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency programs, which are cyber hygiene services. We already do that. And also the Ohio Persistent Cyber Improvement Program, we also participate in that. Is a statewide program. So why are we doing this? Well, .gov domains are considered highly reliable because there's a very strict verification procedure that prevents misuse, and because .gov domains adhere to a high security and high accessibility standards. So our current website already meets strict security protocols. We're already meeting those, but transitioning to .gov is a trust signal that our site is intended for public service, and it's a place where the public can go to get safe and accurate official information. So we're requesting permission to apply for that grant. And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The 20% match would be $1,900.
Any questions on this one? Councilman?
I'm sorry, because it's with the state, do you need a resolution when it comes to the passage? Because you'll want to look at that, and you can communicate with Mrs. Rosemary.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Because typically the state likes resolutions.
They like to have a resolution. Okay. Very good.
Not always, but.
So if we were to move this to CCM, since the deadline is March 13th,
Yeah, they released this grant, gosh, it's about 2 weeks. They don't give a lot of runway for the turnaround, unfortunately.
okay. So, do we move this to CCM as a resolution and or ordinance? And
Or a motion, hopefully. I mean, I don't see any reason that we can't do it by motion unless the state needs a resolution.
I didn't see where the state requires one in the materials. So I'm not sure that we need it, but
Because it's so small.
yeah, it's such a small amount. I mean, obviously there are larger grants available out there, but this one's obviously relatively small.
so this one also, the intent would be to move it to CCM tonight for, and then a suspension of the rules and emergency passage as
Yes.
well. Okay. So I move this to the CCM tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So we will move that. And then the next topic was the acceptance of the 2026 NOPEC Community Grant. This is an annual grant that that NOPEC provides for improving our energy efficiency. And I know Mr. Liskovic isn't here to talk more about it, but Mr. Mayor, do you have any comments?
Yeah, just real quick, we get this award from NOPEC every year. It's based upon the number of people who participate in the NOPEC program throughout the community. We use this money for a variety of different reasons. Usually it involves some type of energy efficiency upgrades, whether it be lighting, HVAC, but anything that we can do to increase our efficiency throughout the city.
And this grant was $69,072. And so I think this one needs a motion as well? No?
Resolution.
A resolution, okay. So I move to resolution to accept the 2026 NOPEC Community Grant. Move that to CCM.
Second.
So Rob seconds, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So that was the end,
You skipped over the OpenGov
oh, I did.
item.
Sorry, I put that note in the wrong place. Okay, so, Mr. Rue, I forgot that one. So do you want to talk about the OpenGov subscription renewal? We did get, the paperwork,
I know
for
we-
that.
Good, okay. Yeah, so this is, OpenGov is the city's asset management tool, permitting and licensing tool. It has a reporting function as well. The city has a 5-year contract with OpenGov. This would be entering the 4th year of the 5-year agreement. The contract expires in February of 2028. The final payment would be in March of 2027. We utilize OpenGov's permitting and licensing tool for outside contractors. Our inspectors use it to keep all of the records of residential properties, commercial properties, including drawings and so forth in there. And then the Public Works team uses it as asset management. They have a tool called Cartograph that we use. It was purchased by OpenGov a number of years ago. It's not part of the OpenGov cloud. This is what stands up our public-facing portal that residents and contractors use to access various permit processes. It is also a tool that we use that integrates with our mapping software, so the software we use to map assets throughout the city, and a product called Bluebeam that we use in our permitting and licensing department to approve drawings and review drawings. So again, this is part of an agreement that the city entered into a number of years ago. We are entering into the 4th year of that 5-year agreement.
Okay. All right, thank you. Are there any questions? Ms.
I'm sorry, yes, I do have one. So itemized is the sanitary sewer domain. Is that something that Avon Lake Regional Water is now using with us? Because we're paying for it.
We use it for, I know that Public Works has used it for mapping. There's some, they map some of it. I'm not sure how, there are some members of the team in water that have access to the tool, but I'm not able to see their work product, if that makes sense. So when they go into the system, I can't see that product.
Fine. And also, people need to understand that planning and zoning, they use this particular OpenGov also.
Correct, yes, thank you for adding.
So that all the department heads can look at the applicant's plans, and the applicant can then see the responses that each of the department heads have when they have their DRC meetings. And then it's uploaded, and Kelly LaRosa uses it for the planning packet. It all comes out of OpenGov, so it's used for many things.
It does a lot, yeah, thank you for adding that. It does, it also allows us to create workflows that, to Jennifer's point, encourage the collaboration between different departments. So if there's a residential structure going up, there's a number of different departments that touch that. If there's something going on with commercial, we can build out custom workflows for those processes. And then all of the record for that particular property is in one place. So thank you for adding that. That's an important detail.
All right. So, any other questions? Seeing none, we'll, I need to, so it looks like the due date on this is April 2nd.
Yes, the due date for the payment would be, the agreement payment for year 4 would be April 2nd.
So would this be resolution or motion? Ordinance, okay. Oh, yeah, you did put me, you gave it to me, never mind. Okay, so we will need we'll move this to CCM. And it looks like this one will also need emergency passage, suspension of the rules. I'm assuming, do we have time for one reading or 2 readings? Okay, so we'll do 2 readings on this one, and I think, so I move to send to the CCM the the OpenGov subscription renewal of $96,409.52, and with the intention of 2 readings. All those in favor? Or wait, you need a second. Rob seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we'll move that to CCM. Now we'll open up to the public. Seeing no public that want to speak, I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That brings us to the Finance Committee meeting. So I'll call that to order. I see that I'm here. Mrs. Fenderbosh and Mrs. Goodwin, our 3 members of the Finance Committee, are here. Call the meeting to order. The first item is the approval of the minutes of February 2nd, 2026. Bless you. Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes? Yes, Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Thank you. On the second page, 1, 2, 3, the 4th bullet point down, it reads that developers are responsible for infrastructure costs associated with new developments, but not for ongoing maintenance and repairs. That's not accurate. If it is for a private street, they are. If it's for a public street, they are not.
Thank you. If we could make that delineation in the 1, 2, 3, 4th bullet point. for maintenance and repairs on public streets as opposed to private streets.
Thank you, sir.
Any other additions or deletions? Seeing none, the minutes will stand approved with the correction as noted this evening. Next on the agenda, we have the purchase of 720 Moore Road, and we've asked the Chief Utilities Executive, Mr. Rob Monroe, to come forward to discuss this for the public education. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As was stated, we do have a purchase agreement for 720 Moore Road here in Avon Lake. Little history on that property. That is a approximately 75-acre parcel located on Moore Road at Pin Oak Parkway. The purchase of acquiring this property for the public benefit is our eastern transmission lines. We refer to them as the ETLs for short. The ETLs are water transmission mains that supply water to all of our bulk customers as far down as Medina County, Medina City. We have an improvement project that has been designed. We're in the process of acquiring the properties and easements for that. And so the public benefit is not just for Avon Lake, it's for approximately 250,000 residents covering about a 600 square mile service area. So what this does for specifically for Avon Lake and for our Avon Lake customers is this keeps our water rates low. We still, again this year, maintain the lowest water rate of incorporated cities in the state of Ohio. And that's because of our bulk sales. 87% of our water is sold outside of Avon Lake, so that helps us to keep our costs down for Avon Lake residents. What we will be doing is installing a new 42-inch water main on this property, also having a couple of interconnect pipes that will interconnect to our Avon Lake, what we call our retail system. So that's going to benefit Avon Lake directly. And then going the other direction to our largest bulk customer, rural Lorain County Water Authority. They own a pump station on right at the tracks on Miller Road, and this parcel here butts up against their parcel. So this will also give them the ability to expand their pump station for their growth. We had an appraisal on this property. The appraisal came in at $2.4 million, and the purchase price that we negotiated is $2,434,000. So very much in line with the appraisal. So the board did approve this at their meeting 2 weeks ago. So part of our process is we do need council approval of that. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you. So the property that you're purchasing is how many acres?
75.
And of those 75 acres, is any of that going to be available for any other kind of development in the city, and how does that benefit the public in general?
The simple answer is yes. When our project is completed, we feel that it puts not just the utility, but the city of Avon Lake in a good position that that property could be developed. And because of where it's located, adjacent to Pin Oak Parkway, all of Pin Oak is primarily a commercial industrial area. That's the biggest benefit when it comes to revenue for the city. As you all know, revenue in the form of income tax. So developing the rest of that, I think would be a very smart move. And with us having control of the parcel, I think it allows us to do that easy.
Does it also help in terms of any of your ability to lay the lines, lay the water lines and the like that would be beneficial to the public?
Yes, and that's what we intend that we would put these water transmission mains in that would be least impactful to the entire parcel, thinking of the future development that could happen in that area to maximize the value of the property.
All right. Thank you. Anyone from the committee have any questions? Okay, outside the committee, yes, Mr. Shamir.
I've got two questions, actually two requests, somewhat related, but first one would be, do you guys have a map of Avon Lake Regional Water-owned properties, acreage that is planned for expansion, and then acreage that is available?
The first part of your question, yes, we have a map. What's available and for expansion is a living document since we have been acquiring parcels. So there is some updating that needs done, but yes,
Can we get a copy of that, please?
yes.
Second question I've got, we talk about water rates in Avon Lake versus other communities. Can we get the graph of water rates for Avon Lake versus other communities that Avon Lake Regional Water supplies to over the past 15 years, for example?
Yes, I believe it. I believe it goes back.
Thank you.
Yes,
I would greatly appreciate it.
absolutely. And I can, verbally give you an idea. Our first tier of rates, $2.25 per 1,000 gallons. Some of our surrounding areas, city of Lorraine is over $7 per 1,000 gallons. And if you want to put it into context of, I think probably most of us have purchased a bottle of water. We've probably spent upwards of $2, maybe more, compared to 1,000 gallons of water. So
I think
We
it
will
would be
provide
very helpful when we discuss and we talk to residents, because the discussion comes up, what do we get out of Avon Lake Regional Water? Being able to put that up and show them is,
absolutely.
I think, is quite important. Thank you.
And this project's gonna help keep those prices down, correct?
Absolutely, because again, as we sell more bulk water outside of Avon Lake, we're able to distribute our costs amongst a much broader customer base. And our residents in the city of Avon Lake are not bearing all of those costs. They're bearing a very small amount of them. So,
Thank you. Mr. Kaz?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. So, Mr. Monroe, 75 acres is what you're looking to purchase, is that correct? So for people that are watching this, they hear 720 Moore Road. For the lifers will know that as the old Banjoff Farm. But for anyone watching this that might not be able to picture this is that large farm field on the southwest corner of the city by the railroad tracks on Moore Road, correct?
yes, that is correct.
Okay, so it's a huge piece of property. So this 75 acres that you're looking to purchase, is that the entire parcel that we see there? Within city limits, I should say?
There is another parcel that is adjacent to it that at one time was part of this 75 acres. It's a 10-acre parcel. We are looking to purchase that as well. But we're in negotiations with them right now, so we don't have anything concrete. But the original Banjoff Farm that most of us know was 85 acres.
Okay, so this is.
The current owner of the 75 acres sold off those 10 acres some years ago to another person.
Okay, and this has been available for quite a while. That sign for sale has been up there for a long time, so I'll speak for myself. I don't feel like we're undercutting some developer that was waiting to come in. I mean, this thing has been looked at a number of times and has been sitting vacant for decades now at this point. So I think it's important when you made the comment, and also Mr. Shamir through his committee, we talked about economic development, is that by purchasing this is what I think really needs to come out of this for the residents, is that by purchasing this, by the city purchasing this, we're not losing that to future economic development, correct?
That is correct, and it's, again, the board, when we looked at this, and I presented this to the board is very much on board with this path forward. Another component that I failed to mention, as you brought up, this property has been available for a number of years. There has also been ongoing litigation with Lorain County over a tax dispute. So there's over $500,000 in back taxes that are owed on this property. This purchase agreement, that will be settled by the seller. So Lorraine County, the city of Avon Lake, and the Avon Lake School District will be made whole on those taxes. So again, that's been out there for a number of years, and this will bring a resolution to that as well.
Okay, and I got one last question.
Go ahead.
What is this property zoned right now?
It is being used as agricultural. There is a component in this purchase agreement. The current owner of the property has a lease with a farmer that it is actively farmed. Because we are not ready for construction yet, we did agree to, at least for 1 year for this farming season, honor that lease. And if timelines change, we can extend it. We have a beginning of the year deadline that we have to notify if we're not going to extend or if we are. But right now it is agricultural, but I believe in that area, it is, commercial industrial.
Okay, so you wouldn't necessarily need to come back to this body for a change of zoning if it's commercial industrial. It resorts
No.
back to that.
Yeah, I think, and I would turn to the mayor and zoning to ask for some guidance there. With us purchasing it, does it change it to public institutional? Because, we're using it for the public benefit. Those are, I think, questions we'd have to ask, but certainly want to make sure that we do it in the right order.
Great, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gentry, I saw your hand up. No.
It was off topic, it's
Oh.
fine, I'll follow up.
Okay, yes, Mrs. Goodwin.
Thank you. Who on the development side of that, is that something that the city and Avon Lake Regional Water work together to find future development, or would it be Avon Lake Regional Water's sole responsibility, or the city? What would that look like?
From our standpoint, I don't know that it would necessarily be us per se, but obviously, number one is we need to make sure we're in compliance with Ohio Revised Code and our charter. Specifically, utility funds used for utility purposes. So we're absolutely in compliance with that. So, that's not necessarily our wheelhouse to do, but we obviously are facilitating that. So I look at it really as a collaborative for the whole. And again, I use the terminology, we benefit from this, and I don't mean Avon Lake Regional Water benefits. We as a city benefits from this. So I certainly see it's a collaborative, but we certainly need to, fine tune that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? One last question for you. What's your request of us relative to a timeline?
So we would like to pass this as soon as we could because we have a 45-day due diligence period in the agreement. That does not start until the agreement is approved and executed. So is it possible to pass at the next council meeting or even 2 readings? That would be up. I would leave that up to you.
Do my committee members have any thoughts on that?
Can
I
we
don't.
go to,
Huh? Get it
think-
done by the end of March?
yeah,
Two
That would-
readings?
Two
That would be
readings.
acceptable, yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I would move this to the CCM for getting it on the agenda for the next regular meeting of council for 2 readings.
second?
Yes. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda is the RETA update. You should all have a copy of the RETA update. As I look at that RETA update, I was happy to see that it looks like we're slowly catching up as we started out the year with the first round of collections down 5.76%. By February, we're down 3.63%. And now after the first payments in March, we're down 1.361%. Am I reading that correctly? Ms.
You are.
Manafines?
I would like to point one thing out about
Okay.
that, is that in 2025, there was a prepayment an estimated payment of from a large source of about $500,000, if you would remember. So if you look at the 2025 versus 2024, we were actually up quite a bit in 2025 in January when that payment was received. And then it took until about May of '25 to kind of even out down to around the 3% above 2024 there. So actually to be below last year, 1.3% is even better because that was up from 2024. So the city's doing fine there.
All right, I thought I was reading that
Yep.
correctly. Any comments from the committee on that? Anyone else? All right, on to the next item, which is listed as final report. Ms. Crossy.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this is the January Financial Fund Report. And I just really wanted to point out one fund in particular, Fund 207. So it's about the sixth fund down, the Income Tax Capital Improvement Fund. And the reason I'm pointing that out is we will see a lot of activity going on through that fund due to the water bundle project that is going through that fund. So what happens there is the city pays the city portion of that bundle project, and you can see that's about almost $1.5 million so far this year. But then we received the loan funds from OWDA, and you can see that's about $1.4 million so far this year. So that will be part of the budget adjustment to, get this into the budget. It was already approved by council last year as the bundle project. So, but it does become an adjustment this year since we had to start making these payments this year.
When are you planning on bringing that budget adjustment to council?
Yes, so we are waiting for some adjustments from Regional Water based on their real estate purchase. And I think Mr. Logan has some other adjustments for us. So I hope to have that to council for their review Thursday or Friday and bring it to next week's meeting.
Okay. Are you
Yes,
gonna-
and that could go 2 readings. It's not, as long as
Okay.
we get it approved in March would be fine.
So are you also referencing the budget adjustments in item 4? Is that what you were just doing in item 4 on the agenda?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we,
Thank
I just
you.
making sure we took care of both of those at once.
Yes. yes.
So
Thanks.
we'll anticipate a budget adjustment coming to the next council meeting for
Correct.
2 readings?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make that motion to the committee.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion on that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, is there any other items you want to amend, any more items you wanted, Ms. Crossy, on the Finance Committee?
No, I think
Okay.
we're all set.
Anything else from the committee itself? All right, seeing nothing, at this point, it's public input on any item relative to the Finance Committee meeting we just had and the items on that agenda. Seeing no one coming forward, I will adjourn our committee meeting. All right, next, Mr. Reynolds, you have the chair for the Human Resource Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Human Resources Committee is called to order. It is 7:49 PM. We have a quorum with Mr. Koss and Mr. Smith and myself as chair. The first item of business is the approval of the minutes from February 2nd, 2026. They were previously distributed. Are there any corrections to the minutes? All right, seeing none, the minutes are approved as prepared and published. Next on our agenda is the report from our Human Resources Director, Ms. Kernia.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
First, I have an update in positions in the fire department. We are seeking this week from the Civil Service Commission approval for an appointment of a new firefighter. If approved, this firefighter will be sworn in the next couple of weeks. He grew up in Strongsville and now lives in the Lorain County area. He has 11 years of part-time experience at Columbia Township Fire Department, and after attending high school, graduated college from Cleveland State, where he earned his bachelor's degree in business administration focused in finance. So we're looking forward to his approval later this week. We also have a captain who is retiring after 22 years serving the Avon Lake Fire Department. Captain Marty will be retiring, so we will be discussing in that civil service meeting as well, testing process for captain and also for lieutenant, assuming that a person who is lieutenant gets promoted into the captain position. So good news there in our fire department. Other staffing updates. I have an update on the city engineer search. We are still searching. We have received some resumes after a wide posting of jobs or this job in all sorts of areas. A job ad was featured on the Fox 8 Job of the Day on February 11th and February 27th. We posted ads in all sorts of places the week of February 2nd and the 9th. So we're coming up on 30 days where these ads have been posted on careerboard.com, LinkedIn, the Ohio Society for Engineers, Ohio Means Jobs, Cleveland Engineering Society, our own social media sign and webpage, and the Ohio Municipal League. We're also working with 2 outside recruiters. And of all of those postings and all of the ads that we've placed, we've received 14 applicants of varying degrees of meeting the qualifications. So we're a bit underwhelmed, hoping that in the next few, maybe 30 days more, we'll get some more applicants and people who are interested. We'll continue those ads in all of those various places so that we can hopefully gain some traction.
Any questions from the committee?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
who's first? Because I'm not on the.
Mr. Smith?
I see that the letter to Mr. Schultz indicates that he's going to come to our meeting on March 9th. Is that confirmed yet?
Is that correct? I would have to defer to
February
Ms.
19th?
Rossi.
Letter?
That's what he said. Yes.
So we need to add that to our agenda?
I'm sorry, I
Huh?
don't know that he's confirmed yet by civil service, so we'll know after Thursday.
Okay, so you'll let Ms. Rosmarin know then?
Yes.
Okay. And then the second question I have is relative to the engineering. Is there any plan to start interviewing? You have 14 candidates to start looking through those and start doing any interviews to hire an engineer?
We are looking forward to scheduling interviews, hoping to get a few more well-qualified applicants before we take that next step.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, have you looked at them yet, the ones that you have, and do we have any qualified applicants? Or I would think that as soon as you start getting applicants in, that we would start doing some interviews and seeing what qualifications that they have.
We have applicants meeting the minimum qualifications to varying degrees. So just as a reminder, the minimum qualifications are a bachelor's degree in civil engineering or the equivalent. They must be a registered PE in Ohio, 5 years of practice in civil engineering, and 3 years of management experience. We also prefer candidates who have municipal experience and roadway work, since those are our needs here. It's tough to find a candidate who has all of those things, so we're hoping that more candidate interest will be showing soon.
Mayor, you want to shed a little light on that for me, please?
Sure. As Ms. Kearney indicated, we're a little bit light, I believe, in our applications. We've been very aggressive in pursuing these. There could be varying reasons for this. I know you could speak to some of the headhunters that we have talked with and some of the challenges we faced. It could be monetary. It could be the nature of municipal engineering work. It could be a variety of things. We're not seeing in these applications an overwhelming ability to meet all the requirements. And we certainly don't want to settle. We want to choose the best person for Avon Lake. And that is why we're hoping to get a few more applicants before we begin that process.
All right, it just seemed to me that as they're coming in, that they'd start being vetted and seeing if there's some within that group that should be brought in for an interview, but
Well,
I'll leave it to you guys
Well, we've
to
been
make
doing that part.
decision.
We just haven't got to the interview phase of that yet.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm done.
I had a question about that. What is the interview process for this when that does start? How many rounds of interviews? Who does the interviewing? Can you shed some light on that?
Yes, the interview process will involve at least 2 rounds, maybe 3, depending on how we feel after the second round. It will include a structured set of questions. They're behavioral interview questions that are pre-written that will ask each individual so that they're all asked the same questions. And in the interview will be the mayor and most likely Mr. Monroe and most likely Mr. Liskovic.
Thank you. Any more questions? Ms. Gentry?
So I'm assuming that if we've got these 14 candidates and you're keeping it open for 30 more days, we're going to be in communication with the applicants to make sure that they're not falling off, just in case.
Yes.
Any more questions? Ms. Fenderbosh?
Thank you. My question is going to go back to fire, if I may, Chairman.
Yes.
Is the fire, are the 3 fire, what do they call them, groups? They're the 3 fire groups, they call them?
Platoon.
Platoons, thank you. Are all of the platoons now going to be filled after these 2 positions are filled?
They will be filled shortly after the firefighter is confirmed in the next week or 2. And then after Captain Marty retires in, I believe it's July, then we will have another opening or 2 openings if a lieutenant moves into a captain role.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, I just want to add quickly, for the retirement of the captain, we are looking to start the promotional process prior to his retirement so that there's a opportunity for them to work together before that comes to be. So we want to get the captain and lieutenant promotionals moving as quickly as possible so that we can have that transition period.
Mr. Cost?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Kearney, once we have the, once we bring in this new firefighter, paramedic, aside from the chief's role, are all the positions, are we up to speed? Are all the positions in the department filled, or do we have any other vacancies at the fire department that you're
Once
aware of?
the new firefighter is placed, then that role will be filled. No other firefighters are being hired, to my awareness. And then once Captain Marty retires, then there will be some movement there. There will be a new captain and a new
Right.
lieutenant.
But we'll be
And then we'll be
full staff,
full
is
staff
what I'm looking for.
outside of the chief.
Yeah, right, okay, thank you, thank you.
I just wanted to add that I was informed that 2 retired as firefighter paramedics, and we have now hired 1 or found 1, and they're interviewing a second one. So I think they are down 1, and they're in that process.
Thank you.
And it is on the agenda for Civil Service Commission on Thursday to certify this individual so that they'll be sworn in on Monday, and then also discuss the promotional process that the mayor had described.
Thank you. I just had one more question about the engineer search. Of the 14 applications that you do have, how many have been just submitted, and how many came through the recruiters that you've been using?
Yeah, that's a good question. We've received one, well, as of this morning, we received 2 through our headhunter/outside recruiters, and the other 12 have been through all the other various ads that we've placed.
Thank you. Any more questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just moving down the agenda. The next thing we have to discuss is the city engineering hiring process. I think we had a good conversation about that already, but does anybody else have any more comments or questions on that? And next on the agenda, this is a question that I do have. It's about the appointment of the firefighter paramedic. Now, you said that there's a meeting on Thursday to certify that.
Correct.
So, should we still move to have that at the next meeting contingent upon certification?
Yes.
Okay. So, I move that council proceed with the administration of the oath of office of Daniel Schultz at the regular council meeting on March 9th, contingent on certification of the Civil Service Commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. And now we are on the public input portion of the meeting. You have 3 minutes to speak on any topic on the agenda. No, nothing? Okay.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
if I could, thank you. Where are we on the member donation of accrued unused sick leave into the sick leave bank? I must have zoned out. I didn't hear anything about that.
Did I miss that part?
That's on the HR report.
Yeah, from the HR report.
Ms. Carnia?
Thank you. I'm happy to provide an update. So our Public Works Department and Avon Lake Regional Water had a MOU that was created between the city and those unions to allow their own members to donate accrued unused sick leave to a bank so that others who were in need of using that sick leave could use the leave that was in the bank. The fire department and the police department expressed interest in also having a similar MOU for their own sick leave banks because they cannot transfer sick leave across unions. So we were happy to negotiate that with all 3 police unions and the fire union separately and create MOUs for all of those 4 unions.
Thank you for the update.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I move to adjourn the HR committee meeting unless there's any more. I'm sorry?
Do public input?
Yeah,
We
you
did.
did.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no one came up.
All right, could I get a second for the adjournment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The meeting is adjourned at 8:03 PM.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. We'll now move to the collective committee portion of the meeting. Up first is Ms. Gentry with the Building and Utilities Committee.
Thank you. We have 4 items to discuss. So the first one was the MSA for the Enterprise Management or Managed Technology Services Agreement. That one is the master service agreement, and we wanted that one to go on emergency with 2 readings, suspension of the rules. I think this one can go 2 readings. Is that right? Yeah. So because it's due by the end of the month of March, so we should be good with 2. And then, are any questions on that? Since we just had the discussion, I wouldn't expect many. So then we had the .gov domain change. That one, due to the grant, due date of March 13th, that one needs to go as a first reading suspension of the rules, and emergency passage on that one as well. Any questions? Second one, or the third one is the OpenGov subscription renewal. That one is also an end of the month, so we can do 2 readings on that one. Any questions on that? Seeing none. The fourth item would have been the grant exception resolution for the NOPEC grant. And that one, do we do readings, multiple readings on a resolution?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, so we'll need 3 readings on that one. And that was all I had.
Any other questions for Ms. Gentry as Chair of the Building and Utilities Committee? All right, we'll move on to an item that wasn't discussed earlier in our committees, and that's Economic Development Committee. Mr. Shamir.
We have the second amendment to the professional services reimbursement agreement for the power plant redevelopment project. And the intention is for that second amendment to go for 3 readings with immediate effectiveness upon passage on the 3rd reading.
Anyone have any comments about the agreement on council? All right.
I do have one question, if I may. Is the acreage on the parkland still 23.22 acres?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, it's still, I don't know about 2.2, it's 23 acres. The survey has not been completed yet, but it'll be, according to our agreement, that 23.22 or there's about.
Okay.
Be that. Yep.
Thank you.
And relative to that, tomorrow night, is it tomorrow night? No, yeah.
Yeah,
Tomorrow
Tomorrow
night.
night.
Planning Commission has an important meeting, and anyone that wants to be there to give your input relative to the park and the plan for it and for the overlay that Planning Commission's gonna be looking at. It's a very important and a very opportune time if you have something at home that you wanna come and tell council about relative to the future of that land. Not only that land, but the land adjacent to it, as Planning Commission works through the overlay. Thank you. Anything further, Mr. Shamir?
Nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the Finance Committee, which I chair. As everyone heard, we're going to be doing 2 readings on the purchase of 720 Moore Road by the Utilities Department for their transmission lines on that property. Mr. Monroe went through very clearly how the purchase of that property is a public purpose, so that we can move forward with that purchase. Does anyone have any other further questions or comments since the meeting earlier? Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Krause.
just one question, Mr. President. Mr. Ebert, I know that there's a section on there, on this, for you to sign off on, but did you have any concerns or questions at all during, about the document? Just wanted to ask you
Not
what
as
your
it's
thoughts
presently
were.
constituted, no.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I think that was all that we had to bring forward from Finance Committee. Any other questions? Yes. Oh, yes, the budget adjustment, thank you very much. We are gonna be having a budget adjustment that the Finance Director is gonna get off to us, and we'll have that budget adjustment on the committee meeting, or on the regular meeting next Monday. Thank you very much for that reminder. Anything else? All right, on to the Human Resources Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. In our committee meeting that we just had not that long ago, We did have a nice discussion about the hiring process for the city engineer. We currently have 14 applicants. The process maybe is not going as fast, but hopefully we get something good there. We also moved to have the oath of office administered to Daniel Schultz at the next meeting. That's March 9th, contingent upon civil service approving his hiring. And that is about it.
All right, any questions for the HR chair? Yes.
I'm sorry, thank you. I did have one question, just, if, after the 30-day span for the engineering position, if there's still not an overwhelming response, would we be able to hear kind of what the recruiters are, like what the feedback is from, like what they're recommending needs to change?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, thank you. Good question. One thing I did not have her elaborate on was her conversations with our executive search firms. They have not been very positive about there's not a lot out there, is what they're telling us. And I think one of our applicants actually lives in Brazil who applied. So that tells you the breadth that they're looking at, but we're just not getting the quantity and quality that you would expect. So we'll keep searching. It's a frustrating process, for sure. And we're finding out that the private sector can definitely pay more than the public sector is one of the reasons. The other is evening hours. We're not getting a lot of feedback that anybody wants to do evening hours, and this job has a requirement for a few of those. And those are probably the two bigger points that have been made to us so far.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Mr. Mayor, the question has come up, is the city open to offering relocation fees to the engineers, or is that not being offered?
That would be an individual discussion with a candidate. That has not come up yet. But to your point, we have had candidates, or actually the firms that we've talked to, indicate that people don't want to travel for work. We've had requests to do this remotely, which is not possible. And again, these are the difficulties, many difficulties. I'm mentioning a few here, obviously, that we're running across with this position. Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Well, we just got to keep trying, that's all.
Keep working.
We'll get there.
Yep.
All right. Any further questions for the HR committee? All right, next, Mr. Kaz, Public Safety and Health Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I have the one item here to discuss, but just want to say that after that item, I have a couple of other informational items as well, too, I'd like to bring up. So the one item that we have here on the agenda is the helmet law for e-bikes. And as discussed at the last week's meeting and also at the Safety Committee meeting, which this came out of with a 3-0 vote. If approved, this would add a section to our code 474.01. This would be letter F, and I'll read this here. No person who is under 18 years of age shall operate or be a passenger on a Class 1 or Class 2 electric bicycle unless the person is wearing a protective helmet that meets the standards established by the Consumer Product Safety Commission or the American Society for Testing and Materials. So it's worth also, and that's the end of the section that would be added. It's worth noting that Class 3, which are the fastest of these e-bikes, you have to be 16 to operate it, and any user of a Class 3, whether you're 16 or 17 or 25 or 35 or older, you are required to wear a helmet with those. So this would, if this passed this new section F, it would simply require that any user of an e-bike of under 18 would be required to wear a helmet for their safety. And again, this came out of the Public Safety and Health Committee meeting, and this was discussed after a number of committee members and council members and people throughout the community that have expressed concern about the safety and the operation of e-bikes, particularly by younger people operating them. So this, I think, is a step in the right direction to help provide that safety. There are other communities that have similar language. I did research a number of them, and the language that we're using here is almost word for word from what the city of Strongsville adopted. So we would not be the only ones that would be having this requirement. So I think it's a step in the right direction for safety. At the safety committee meeting, Chief Robinson expressed his support for this. It was also noted at that meeting that I discussed this last week as well too, that we were gonna go 3 readings on it, but then I stated last week that after looking at the council schedule, which I didn't fully realize at the time, that because of the 5th Monday, it bumps the 3rd reading of this out to mid-April. And so I had asked my committee members, if they had any objections or concerns to passing this on the 2nd reading, which would be the 23rd of this month. Mr. President, I would ask if the committee members have any objections to doing that before I continue on.
Anyone on the committee have any objections? How about rest of council? I'm not seeing any objections today.
Okay, thank you. So, then if that is going to be the case, we're going to have first reading on this on the 9th, and then the 2nd reading and passage on the 23rd. With this type of change to the law, it's going to be very important to get the word out to the community. I spoke with Mr. Rua and Stephanie Biggers earlier prior to the meeting. We had discussed this during the safety committee meeting as well too. And I think between the mayor and the police chief and his team at digital media, we need to put together a pretty good and quickly filmed PSA on what the new law is, and start using that with our social media to get the word out to people that as we're approaching the warmer weather and these bikes are going to be coming out, that this new law is going to be going into effect before the end of the month. So PSAs and public information, whatever we can do to get that word out there, I think it's going to be very important. I will ask if there's any questions on that before I move on, or discussion before I move on to the other items.
Yes, Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Thank you. The RSOs, are they going to be able to give the schools language so that the parents can be aware? Because I know that many of the parents are on direct email information from the schools. It's a great way to get to the families of these kids.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a part of this, of the outreach and the education on this, is using our school resource officers. And I see the mayor shaking his head, and I'm sure that he'll relay that on to the chief, and we'll make sure that's a part of it.
And if I could, I know it's not part of the law. It's not, I just looked it up. It's not part of state law either. But if we could remind our students and people who are cyclists, whether it's a bicycle or whether it's electric, please do not wear all black at night. Have reflective clothing on so people can be seen. It's just part of not only the etiquette, but it's also part of safety.
Point taken.
All right, Mr. Kaz, you said you had a couple other items you wanted to bring.
Yeah, I have a couple of other things, just informational items. It was brought to my attention that we have 2 new liquor license requests that came in this past week that Mrs. Rossmarin has. I spoke with her before the meeting, and I thought, well, if we can get the approval from the chief on these, or whether or not there's any concerns or anything like that, we can move on these as early as next week. I'm going to back off of that, because a part of this is also putting it out there for the public in case there's any objections from the neighborhood or anyone in that area that might have an objection to a liquor license coming into a certain area. So Mrs. Rossmarin scratched my comments before the meeting. What I'd like to do is, if we can have those on for CCM in 2 weeks, and then if there's no objections, we'll also have safety committee in there as well too. And if there's no objections, that following week, I think is again the 23rd, we can pass both of those by motion, which I think is within our time frame that we're required to return those by. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Kaz, if you would, since we are doing it and we want some public acknowledgement of it, what are those addresses, if you would, please?
I only knew one, and that was the old ice cream shop, Isla's Ice Cream, which is Larry Fine's sandwich shop is one of them, and I'm not sure what the second one is, if Mrs. Fenderbosh or Mrs.
It's called Williams Deli.
Which
The
one?
on Lear.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the one.
The other one, which you haven't seen, it's D&T Revolution Sissons Flowers and Gifts,
Okay,
and at 716 Avon Belden Road.
that's interesting. Okay,
It's a new license.
All right.
okay.
Anything on that item for anyone? All right. You
And
had,
yeah, and the last thing I had, yeah, thank you, sir. The last thing that I had was just an informational item from Chief Robinson, is that the police department applied for 2 small online grants. The first is for a small award of $1,000 for the purchase of community promotional items, and the second is for 2 e-bikes for the bike patrol for just under $10,000. Neither of these will require any cost to the city if awarded. The first grant is through the PIZZI, P-I-Z-Z-I Family Foundation out of Delaware County, and the second one is through the Gary Sinise Foundation. If we receive these grants, I will let the council know. And the last thing that I have is I will not be able to be here next Monday for the second reading of the item that's going to be coming up with the golf cart, and then the first reading of the helmet law change. So, Ms. Gentry, would you be able to handle those items and any items that come up for the committee?
Yep.
Great, thank you very much. That's all I have, sir.
thank you, Mr. Cos. Anything else for Mr. Cos and the public safety and health? All right. Next on our agenda is the third reading. The third reading under legislation, there's only one that's set for third reading, and that is the resolution regarding the cessation of collection of an existing 1.5 mil ad valorem property tax should the income tax that we have going forward passes the 0.4% income tax for 5 years. I do have a couple things with regard to that. One is I know that the mayor has an agenda and a schedule. When are you, if you could, for just so the public knows when they might be able to discuss this with you in such a setting?
Sure, I'm available anytime. Anybody can email me or call me. I'm happy to discuss it. But we have a meeting at the library on March 11th at 7 o'clock. It'll be open to the public, and we'll be discussing the income tax increase on the ballot.
All right, thank you. So March 11th, people will be able to come and see a presentation at the library. The other item I have on that is I will not be able to be at the Public Service Committee meeting agenda, meeting on March 4th at 5:30. I see that there is some discussion of the capital budget plan regarding the passage of the 4% income tax with a timeline, list of prioritized roads, list of other payments from receiving the income, should it pass. And I would just like to make sure that when that comes, that Mr. Liskovic has a very well thought out and very well organized plan for the use of those funds, should the taxpayers be so kind as to afford us the opportunity to help fix their roads. I think it's very important that we have a succinct plan that we can provide to the public relative to how that money will be sent, the 65% of that, the funds that we're getting on that. So I thank you. Any other questions on the third reading? Next, we have second readings. The second reading, Mr. Kaz, if you want to take that.
Yeah, as just mentioned, Ms. Gentry is going to handle the second reading on a week from now on the Monday. For this is going to go 3 readings and suspension of the, no, 3 readings with the emergency clause, no suspension of the rule. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions on that? That is the legislation to limit the golf carts on the main roads and et cetera. All right, first readings, yes.
Emergency clause on that for 30 days after that, for the
on the second reading? That's Mr. Cos, they have a question for you.
Sure.
Just inquiring about the emergency for the second reading that's going to go 3 readings on 2613. Do you feel there's a need for the emergency? If not, it would go into effect 30 days after signature, which would give us opportunity to educate the public on the change that is coming.
If that's the recommendation from the mayor's office and also probably supported by the police department, I wouldn't have an issue with that, and we can take that up with the committee members and remove that if it's.
If we
that's a
could, because we do have a provision in there where we're going to be doing inspections. We may not be ready to roll that day.
Okay.
If people are bringing their golf carts up, so I might want to have a little reprieve in 30 days to put everything together.
Okay. Well, then I'll ask the same question that I asked earlier, if the committee members have any objection of removing the emergency clause from that piece of legislation.
My only concern would be the timing of getting things implemented. I'm worried about the timeline and when people start breaking those out to use them.
I'm okay with the 30-day wait period, because I think that, to the mayor's point, that's a really crucial time to communicate and, ramp up and prepare.
Yes, Mr. Cos.
I don't have an objection if it stays in or comes out. We don't have to make that decision today, obviously. And Ms. Gentry just raised a thought. So perhaps, Mr. Mayor, we can have that discussion again next Monday.
Sure.
I don't have an objection either way, even though I won't be there. So whatever the thought is, when you guys have an opportunity to maybe discuss it a little bit more thoroughly and maybe get some input from the police chief as well, too, some additional input, I'm willing to go with what the recommendation is.
Thank you.
All right, we have several first readings that came out of the committee meetings that will be on the agenda as well, that we've already discussed. Any miscellaneous business or announcements? Yes, Ms. Gentry.
Just want to announce that Ward 3 meeting will be held March 10th at 7 p.m. at the library. And the mayor will be attending to talk about income tax.
And the finance director.
Any other meetings? that you're gonna
I'm
be
sure
at?
we've got a few others lined up. I don't have
All
the
right.
schedule ahead of me, but yeah. Oh, actually, I have one with Councilman Shamir's Ward 1 meeting, the 31st?
That's the 31st of March.
31st, also.
And that's at the library. Are those both at the
Yes.
library? Very good. Any other miscellaneous business or announcements? All right, thank you, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Just real quick, I learned today that the public library will be closed tomorrow. They will not have water. So I would encourage anybody who, they may open up early, depends on the work that's being done. So encourage you to call the library to check in before you make a trip. But the water department is indicating they'll have no water tomorrow, so.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else for the good of the order? All right, if not, we stand adjourned.